Okay, get ready. If you're not into hearing me speak and are hoping for boat restoration action, this isn't the video for you. Episode 11 will be out right after this episode. This video is to let my viewers know what has been happening, where I've been, and why the weekly videos don't seem to be coming out any longer. I'm Scott Odekirk, and this is the Wooden Boat Experience. This video is an update, after which you'll know what to expect in the future and what happened in the past. I really feel I owe you an explanation. Just to make you feel at home, here's the intro we're so used to. My earliest memory is riding in my grandfather's boat, arm over the side, hand in the spray. I've spent much of the rest of my life chasing this feeling. All of that has led to this, the Wooden Boat Experience. First, let me say that my overall experience as a YouTube creator and with the Wooden Boat Experience has been very positive. The people I've met, the places I've been allowed to visit, and the opportunities I've had have been great. I wouldn't have my collection of boats and experiences around boats if I hadn't created the Wooden Boat Experience channel. Thanks so much to everyone who was ever involved with my Patreon page as well. You kept me going when things were discouraging. I don't regret any of the time I spent making these videos. Another big thanks to the people who sponsored these videos one way or another, but especially to Total Boat. If Total Boat hadn't contacted me and come on board, I probably would have stopped making videos around that time. That being said, the reality of YouTube probably can't be understood without going through the process yourself. I've watched many channels grow and others disappear by the whims and whimsy of the algorithm. The truth is that very few channels and creators actually make any money as a traditional business would be expected to, considering the time spent. Clickbait, misleading thumbnails, and drama often are seen as the route to success. Good content is not rewarded enough. Now, I'm not saying that my channel is special or is great, but I've seen some pretty poor channels that were really popular. You better have another source of income if you plan to try YouTube. Many of the channels are producing content much better than on traditional television with very little or no staff to help. Still, my life has been enriched by YouTube, and I'm so glad I took the plunge back in 2019 when the ACBS International Show, Antique and Classic Boat Society, in nearby Alexandria Bay on the St. Lawrence River. I met two of my biggest fans and supporters that day on the village dock, Howard and Cheryl. Later, Patreon brought Gary Green to me. And he brought me to Hartwell Lake in Georgia. If you're still here, you may be interested in where is the Wooden Boat Experience going next. Has Scott been working on boats, or did he get a real job? Where is Unbeknownst? Where is Speckles? What about the St. Lawrence skiff Scott built? Let's try to cover at least some of what has happened. Before we go any further, yes, I have been working on boats, collecting new projects, filming a lot, but not editing, because that's where all the time is, and preparing to continue being involved with wooden boats. I will be putting together at least 10 videos over the winter, beginning with one on my new favorite purchase, actually a wedding present for my wife Tiza, a go-hoist system. I'm planning on having that video done to release for the Thanksgiving week. I love this system. It has been a game changer for me, which has saved me an enormous amount of time already. Here are some other videos I've already filmed and or have planned. The go-hoist, using it and reviewing it. My new pole barn, 40 by 60 feet being built. A 350 flywheel forward Chris Craft engine for the Arabian. St. Lawrence skiff restoration, a new one. Jay Spencer shop tour. Everett Smith shop tour. Hutchinson resto update. Engine stand storage design. Our correct craft restoration. 25-foot Lyman update. As you can see, there is a lot coming your way eventually, but right now, let's see what has been going on in my life. You may remember back in December of 2022, I made my way to Gary Green's shop in Hartwell Lake, Georgia, working on an 18-foot Shepherd, including adding a 5200 bottom. My mom had passed in 2022, and I had separated from my wife, whom I was still good friends with. I was trying to figure out where my life was going. I even got back to some plein air painting when I was in Hartwell, there at Jimmy Grant's shop. Then in February, my former wife passed away unexpectedly back in New York, so I headed there. Eventually, I made it back to Gary's and we finished the Shepherd, which was brought back to nearby Chippewa Bay. As spring began in 2022, I had met someone, was back in New York, and was working on my 25-foot lineman. Young Jimmy Grant and I were putting on a new bottom from chine to chine, including a number of rib replacements and repairs. This project is not yet finished, it's close, but we'll be back in the water in the summer of 2025. You can see a lot of the work in Season 5, Episode 5, linked above. I was spending a lot of time during the summer of 2023 in Clayton, New York, that's where the boat museum is, and running back and forth to my place to work on projects, and still using Unbeknownst, as my son wasn't ready for it to be at his place yet. Fall came around in 2023, and then winter. I spent time getting the inside of the container set up next to my boat shed. There's a link above where you can watch the container being delivered and set in place. The container has been a great addition to my work area. I fired up the wood-fired oven one more time, and just before January of 2024, Tees and I traveled to South Carolina to create art and avoid the snow. We had done a number of collaborative art pieces and commissions already, and were planning for a show of even more of our work together. After South Carolina, we made a trip from New York down to Mississippi and back. During that trip, we created over 100 original postcards, which we sent out to art patrons to market our upcoming show in August of 2024. We also spent time on the beach when we weren't working. We were lucky to have Bill McQueen and Speckles visit us in South Carolina during their trip out west. Bill cares for Speckles on his island in Chippewa. They are inseparable. We see them both quite often. Between spring of 2024 and now, we bought a house, sold a house, got married, restored some boats, and a whole lot more. In August, my dad passed away. It's been an unusual couple of years, to put it mildly. That brings you pretty much up to date, without some of the details, but keep watching the Wooden Boat Experience, and a lot of the gaps will get filled in. Join us at patreon.com/glassgoat for more inside info, and don't forget that the Go Hoist video, episode 11, will be out right after this episode, in time for you to watch it during Thanksgiving. See you soon.